Welcome to Alert Tales, where we dive deep into the most gripping stories of real-life experiences. If you love tales that evoke emotion, spark conversation, and connect us all, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community for more captivating stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
I liked my friend better before she transitioned. We used to bond over video games and anime, but now she only ever wants to talk about makeup, clothes, and nails. I used to try to be supportive of her transition by complimenting her on how much her presentation has improved, but I am not a girly girl. In the years that we've known each other, I have never shown interest in these things. But since I'm one of the few women in our friend group, that's all she will ever talk to me about. I miss our talks and our banter. Now I just get OOTDs from her. It's also like she transitioned into a 16-year-old girl. She has been trying to get the girls together for a sleepover. She wants us to do each other's hair and nails. I get that she is trying to create experiences that she missed out on, but most of us have families of our own now. We're in our playdate era, not pillow fights. Her idea of womanhood and femininity feels very shallow. It insults me when she acts like she has experienced the female struggle her whole life. Her own struggles as a trans woman would be very valid, but that is not what she talks about. Instead, she tries to rewrite the decades of male privilege she did get to enjoy. She was a better feminist when she was a guy.
Edit, I wrote this in the middle of the night, not expecting anyone to see it. It was just something I needed to release into the world. I've read every single comment, and I wanted to thank every single one of you for taking the time to reply. To the one person who sent me a DM admonishing this post as a transphobic circle jerk, I'm sorry for anything you have read that makes you feel this way, but I see a post full of people from different walks of life coming together and having an open conversation, and I see humans supporting women. I see us all trying to understand each other, even if that means paths diverging. Thank you especially to all the trans women and men who have commented with their own experiences. You are so incredibly brave. I have learned so much, and I appreciate your patience with us CIS folk.
I had to call an ambulance at work yesterday. I'm a server at a popular breakfast restaurant in my small town. I had a table of 2, asked what they would like to drink, came back with their coffees, and then asked if they'd like a couple of minutes to decide. Routine stuff. I thought it was a middle-aged man and his elderly mom. I started taking their order, and she ordered blueberry pancakes, then paused for a second while looking at the menu. She then ordered 2 pieces of French toast. I take a lot of breakfast orders, and this was strange. I looked up from my notepad and noticed that half of her face was sagging down. I looked to the man that was with her, and he was looking at his menu, so I got his attention. He asked if they could have a minute. I knew something was wrong and kind of lingered outside of where they were. We have one table in a separate room that luckily they were at. And eventually the man poked his head out and said we needed an ambulance. My manager was right there, so I told her. She ran to the phone and was talking to dispatch. I kept an eye on her tables while this was happening, but felt awful about it. I just wanted to be there for this older lady. Turns out she was not his mom but his wife. She was only 67 but looked much older. She has cancer and has been going through treatment for years. I held the doors open for the EMTs, and they got there very quickly. Being in the separate room, they at least had some privacy. They emailed the restaurant today, and she is doing okay. Next time they come in, breakfast is on us. I'm so happy that she is doing okay, but it was a really rough day for me. I spent most of the day crying out back between helping other guests. I guess I'm just hoping that I'm not selfish for being affected by this. I think that I was calm in the moment and handled it as best that I could, but I was just so scared.
I was supposed to be adopted until I wasn't. This has been haunting me lately. I, 38 years old, was supposed to have been adopted at birth. My birth mother's friends were the adoptees. They couldn't have children, but had an older daughter from a previous relationship. She was so excited for a little sister. Unfortunately, a few weeks prior to my arrival, my older sibling passed away. My birth mother at that point changed her mind, and the couple became my godparents. I grew up at my godparents' place for most of my youth. It was common knowledge about the fallen through adoption, and they all treated me like I was a surrogate daughter. I loved it there with them so much. I hated going home. When I was 10, we moved and there was a huge falling out with my mother and godparents. I very rarely saw them after that, but the few times I did at events, I felt so at home hugging them, and I would just cry my face off without knowing why. I just wanted my safe people back in my life. My birth mother was mentally ill, abused drugs, was very physically, verbally, and mentally abusive. It was a horrible, neglected life for the next 8 years. She always threatened to give me away to foster care. I begged her to go through with it. I left as soon as I could, and 5 years ago went no contact. Best decision ever. Well, lately I've been having flashbacks and memories coming back up that I'd buried. I can't help but wonder and imagine how my life would have been if circumstances were so that I ended up adopted into a loving home with kind people who actually wanted me. They wanted me, and my mother didn't. I know I can't stay stuck in this, but it's been heavy lately. If you've gotten this far, thanks for listening to my ramblings.